welcome to BrosKnow, entertainment talk from Middle Earth. I am one half of your host, Eric.
And I'm Gavin. What's up? What you doing? Having fun, I hope?
Today we're excited to bring you a special edition of our show. It is our summer season wrap-up.
Yeah.
I think we can agree there's been some good movies come out this summer.
Yeah, there's been some good ones.
But there's also been some stinkers.
Yeah, there's been some pretty horrible ones as well, that's for sure.
So let's have a look what's on our show today. We've got our top 5 worst movies, our top 10 best movies. We'll spend a little bit more time on the best movies because, well, they're better. We don't really want to dwell too much on the worst movies. Plus,
we haven't seen all of the worst movies because why would you pay money to go watch a bad movie? It makes
we haven't gone to the theatres to see these movies. Let's just say that. We've got our summer breakdown. That is our upcoming movies, isn't it? No?
Summer breakdown? No, just the overall thoughts about
overall thoughts of our movies, okay? Then we've got Clash of the Geeks. I've got a lot of I'm way behind in Clash of the Geeks.
Yeah, what's the score?
Ooh, I have no idea. Got no idea. No idea. But I will have an idea when it comes to Clash of the Geeks.
Brain must have been working well last week.
Let's go and start off with our top 5 worst movies. Gavin?
Yeah, I get to kick it off.
Yeah, okay. So, number 5.
So number 5 is a movie that I actually rated pretty reasonably. But the fact was it didn't deliver what it should have. And it was a disappointment. I think in Rotten Tomatoes it rated at something like 29% or something.
It was better than that.
It was better, but I kind of understand. You know, I was kind of ragging on people's score with Suicide Squad, but with this one I can understand it. So I think originally I gave it like a 7, and then what I actually did is I watched this. I'll tell you the whole story actually. So about 2013. They named 3 big movies that were coming. The first one being Avengers 2, shortly after the first Avengers, which was a massive and an awesome movie. The second one was Star Wars 7, The Force Awakens. It was just Star Wars 7 at the time. And then this one, Batman v Superman. And out of all those 3, and a huge Star Wars fan I am, you know, I love Star Wars. This is the one I was looking forward to the most.
Gavin certainly posted this on Facebook, and I can account for the fact that he was looking forward to this.
Yeah, this is the one I wanted to see the most. I'd seen Avengers 1, so I kind of knew what Avengers 2 would be about. I'd seen 6 Star Wars ones, so I sort of knew what that was going to be about. No idea what this one was going to be. Wanted to see it. So my expectations for this were high. I didn't. It came out a little bit earlier. Oh no, I did read some of the critic reviews prior, so I was sort of expecting that it wouldn't be quite fulfill my expectations, but still, it was so messy. This is the theatrical cut we're talking about here, okay? So it was so messy. There were just story elements that made no sense. Major characters, Superman, were just not given enough time.
I hated Superman. I hated him.
All these people die in the courtroom and then he just flies away. Is it, what? What are you doing? It was crazy. And I actually watched this movie twice after I'd seen it. And
I watched it once. I could not watch it again.
That's why I watched it again. I said, oh well, okay, I'll give it another go and maybe I'll be able to pick up the story. I watched it 3 times. And I still couldn't get the story. I still couldn't grasp the cuts. Were just ridiculous. So I mean, I did enjoy this movie, but yeah, there was too much wrong with it, and it promised so much, and it did not deliver. I'm afraid. So that's number 5.
Oh, okay. Number 4, Ice Age, Collision Course. What can I say? The first 4. Actually, they got better.
They got better. They all sucked.
To be honest, the most enjoyable character in that whole movie is Scrap.
Yeah, that's right. Just make a movie about him and I'd watch that.
Ray Romano is just phoning it in. He knows it's a paycheck. These things have made tons of money, but this one, I think that the paycheck has ended. Ray, go back to TV. This movie is bad.
I I think it should have been probably straight to DVD, if you ask me.
Yeah, I mean, kids usually love these movies, but it did so poorly at the American box office.
Yeah.
It's not doing great around the world. I mean, it's going to do hundreds of millions of dollars, but it's really struggling. These things are quite expensive to make, the animation, and it takes a while to do, but I think we might see the end of the Ice Age franchise. This is the movie that killed it.
You know what? I think this, which is not a bad thing, by the way. But anyway, this thing is probably going to make more money than Kubo and the Two Strings, which
if you watched
wrong.
the review last week, that's criminal, because Kubo is a well-made movie. It seems to have love in the making of the movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
The people doing the voice acting are fantastic, and it's a disappointment that this thing does that well, even though it's doing poorly.
Mm-hmm.
Right, I can't really go too much on about that. Number 3, Gavin.
Number 3, The Huntsman, Winter War. Woohoo! Why did they make a sequel? Why? Snow White.
Because it made millions, hundreds of millions of dollars.
Jesus Christ, I don't know. Anyway, so it's more of that guy, Chris, whatever it is.
Yeah. Maybe if he's Thor, it's all right, but.
So anyway, it's what did it make? It made 100. Oh no, the budget was 164 million. That is a huge budget, by the way. It's a ridiculous amount of budget for that.
And how much is it made?
It's only made 115 million.
Okay, so we could probably safely say there's not going to be another one of those.
Thank God for that.
It's actually got some good actors on it, but more meh, hey?
Yeah.
Okay, number 2. Oh dear. Johnny Depp. Come on, man.
Again,
a Pirates movie.
why do you make a sequel?
It made over $1 billion.
Yes.
But the original director's not back. So, I mean, yeah. Johnny Depp, come on, man. I mean, he was great in Black Mass.
Yeah.
Fantastic acting. But Mordecai? Seriously?
I don't know why.
Alice through the Looking Glass?
He enjoys these types of things.
Come on, man. This stuff is just not good.
No.
Thankfully, that's probably going to be the end of that too. So Disney, don't thrash that. Come on, man. The first one did really well. It had some. This also has got some good acting talent in it, but oh gosh.
Right. Horrible.
Okay, but you know what? There's actually one movie worse than that. Gavin. Gavin, what is that movie?
I have the pleasure. Independence Day Resurgence. What a piling, steamy piece of shit this was. God. Jesus.
You know what? It seems like that Will Smith really dodged the steamy pile of turd.
That's why he turned this.
When he turned this thing down.
Yeah. Read that skin and said, "Oh wait, I'll just get it a toilet." Wipe my asshole. Anyway, so it's it's horrible. I mean, I love the first Independence Day. It is a guilty pleasure.
Yeah.
It's a load of fun.
It's crap, but it is so much fun, so much action, and the plot doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
I mean, it's serious.
You turn your brain off for an hour and a half and you watch a good movie.
You can connect your computer, your Windows computer or your Apple computer to an alien ship. Computers can't even connect together very well.
And this one,
gosh.
And this one, you don't turn your brain off. You want someone to scoop it out of your head.
Okay.
I don't know even where to start with it.
Seems like our recommendations are not to see these movies with a big asterisk for at least one of them.
Yeah.
Which we will come to.
Okay.
Let's move on. I'm depressed after that, Gavin. I'm depressed. Let's move on to something
The worst
better.
thing about these movies is the amount of money they cost is just ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, they have a lot of acting, but acting talent in them.
Yeah.
But gosh, okay, something better. Top 10 best movies over the summer. And there's been some good movies. Now, not all of them have been massive blockbusters. Gavin has seen some fantastic movies, some real treasures in there. Not big budgets, not well-known actors, but Gavin, kick it off with number 10.
So my number 10, or our number 10, is The Green Room. This is by Jeremy Solier. And This one, we talked about this one before. It's got Anton Yelchin in it.
Yeah.
It's a really dark, gritty thriller with a great bad guy in Star Trek. I'll grab you his name later when I remember it.
Actually,
anyway.
we'll just put it under here. Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, it's a very brutal movie, but it doesn't try to be gory or anything like that. It says this is the world, so this brutality is just realism. And it's a very good story, well worth a watch. Smaller film. It had a limited release here a couple of weeks ago, I think. But if you have a chance to, you can download it or stream it. If you have a chance to watch it, I definitely recommend that one.
Get on DVD, Blu-ray.
Yeah.
Look, as we said, not all these movies need to be big, massive blockbusters. There's some real treasures out there. You just got to pick and choose. Read a few reviews to get an idea. So that's Gavin's number 10. Number 9, The Mother of Dragons. Woohoo!
Yeah.
Me Before You, The Mother of Dragons meets Hunger Games. Okay, so we've got Emilia Clarke. We've got, actually, what's his name? His name is Sam Claflin. Sam Claflin plays Finnick Odair in the Hunger Games movies. Finnick Odair he had a pretty flawless American accent in that, but Sam Claflin is actually English. So if you see him and you think, man, he looks familiar, that's because it's actually someone that was in a fairly big budget movie. Me Before You is about Emilia Clarke's character.
Patrick Stewart.
Patrick Stewart is
the bad guy.
Wow, that's interesting. Patrick Stewart doesn't really play a bad guy very much. He did play a bad guy in one animated movie, but it was more comedy. That was never mind about that. so Me Before You, Sam Claflin has had an accident and he can no longer walk. He needs a caregiver, and that ends up to be Emilia Clarke. Now, if you've ever seen Emilia Clarke in some of her interviews or posts, she's not the serious badass that she is in Game of Thrones. She's actually quite a bubbly, upbeat person, and her character in this movie is similar to her real personality. So she seems like a really, really nice person, down to earth, and she's sort of a frumpy character in this, and then she becomes the beautiful princess in certain scenes. It's real heartwarming story. It's a bit of a love story.
It's a rom-com drama, but it's a really nice story. Yeah.
So it's a real pleasant story. If you want to have something upbeat, if you want to take your partner to a nice movie, I recommend this. This is the summer blockbuster.
It's got a bit of a downer ending, but
yeah, I mean, unfortunately, a lot of love stories do. I mean, let's think about the most famous one, Romeo and Juliet. That didn't have a happy ending, did it? Okay, number 8.
Okay, number 8, Suicide Squad. Okay, we reviewed this before, I won't go on too much about it. Just a really fun movie. It had its issues, sure. It probably should have been better than it was. But I think where it was okay as compared to like Batman v Superman, there wasn't the same hype for it all. So much expectation for this movie. But a lot of fun, and this is definitely one of the movies you turn your brain off for a little bit and just have a good time. The story is much better than that, but just a good fun summer flick, the kind of flick that you expect in summer, really.
Summer blockbuster,
yeah, exactly.
Kind of, the definition. Gavin actually rated that movie pretty well, so to see it down at number 8 means that there's some pretty good movies in front of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right, we move on to a nice little movie called The Nice Guys. Didn't cost that much, mate. It cost about 50 million.
Yeah,
it's only made 55 million worldwide.
It's a shame. The movie you definitely need to watch it. I think this is one that we're going to be talking about for years and years.
Yeah, it is a really smart movie.
Yeah.
And it's got some funny bits in it. The bit where he's in the toilet. No spoilers, but it's got some really hilarious bits in it. It's got, let me see, Russell Crowe, of course.
Yeah.
We'll claim him as a Kiwi for this movie because it's actually pretty good.
Still
Ryan
Kiwi?
Gosling,
Yeah.
who normally doesn't play the comedic type, but he plays a pretty good comedic fool guy in this. It's got Keith David, who I really enjoy in movies. He is he's great as Mary's dad and Something About Mary.
He's Gar from Gargoyles.
And of course it's got Kim Basinger, who's starting to age, but she still is pretty good.
Yeah.
A really fun thriller action comedy. It covers a lot of genres.
Yeah.
It's got a pretty good story behind it as well.
Yeah,
So,
I like that.
Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, you've compared it to?
Yeah, it's sort of a mixture of that and maybe LA Confidential. It has that feel to it.
Yeah, so it's got some serious bits, but it's got some really funny moments in it.
I really liked the girl who played her daughter. I had to look up her name over here. Angourie Rice, I think it is. She's an Australian actress.
Oh, okay, yeah. So a lot of Australians come into movies and you don't even realise that they're Australians because they do the accent so well.
Was so young and she just pulled that role off flawlessly.
Wow, awesome.
Okay. Number 6. Look. See, I've got to put this way up higher on my list. If it was just my list. So, number 6 is Kubo and the Two Strings. Talked about this last week. Really amazing, beautiful, deep movie. Even though it's an animated movie, there's such deep tones to it that for adults there, and still just a good fun thing that kids can watch as well. Some pretty scary bits in there too. Some of those things are creepy. Some of their monsters are pretty creepy on there. Great original story. And I really hope that this does have legs and gets the love that it deserves.
Now remember, this is a combined list between Gavin and I, so as Gavin said, he probably would have put this higher. But I have to try and fight and get some of my moves.
Well, it's a bit of give and take, and it's, some of the movies that I'm from, but hard to argue.
Okay, should we go to number 5?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, Jungle Book. Okay. This is actually a really fun movie. This kid is out in the jungle. He's, with all these animals, and it's really quite endearing. Then, somewhere near the end, it takes a really disturbing change to the tone of the movie.
Yeah.
Because we all know Christopher Walken can be quite intimidating. Well, you should try Christopher Walken singing. Man, that is some of the creepiest stuff that I've ever heard. Seriously, Christopher Walken, he's really intimidating. Anyway, he plays King Louis. He sings the song I Want to Be Like You, which was in the original movie, the original cartoon, but it was sort of fun in the original cartoon. But with this, it's really it's got some really dark undertones to the whole song and
that's right.
what he wants to do. So fantastic animation. Of course, it was brought to us by the director of Iron Man 1 and Iron Man 2. It's got a really fantastic... if there was ever going to be a Baloo, I think that it had to be Murray Ghostbusters.
Oh,
Eddie Murphy.
Bill Murray.
Bill Murray.
Yeah.
Bill Murray, he's a fantastic boy. Really good story, fantastically animated. The bad guy in this, well, of course, was our bad guy in Star Trek. So we will talk about him a little bit further, maybe. That was my number 5.
Idris Elba. Idris Elba played really well.
Very good, very good.
Is that me?
Number
All right.
4.
Sing Street. Now, I bet you this is a movie you haven't heard of. This is a movie you definitely need to get out there and watch. This is an Irish independent movie. Very good. It is the next Commitments. That's sort of kind of the story. Well, nothing like the Commitments, but it's sort of that kind of tone. So a lot of down and out people trying to get out of, no future sort of a place. And they come up with this band. So basically, the story is this guy creates this band because he's just trying to impress this girl. But then you see them sort of progress and get better and better. Maybe not as maybe a bit too quickly for a lot of people. I know that's a lot of people's things with it. But the music in it is really, really good. It's just a really fun movie. It's funny, definitely worth a watch. Definitely go watch it. And small thing, I can't remember his name, from Game of Thrones. He plays his dad.
Littlefinger.
Littlefinger. Sorry, small finger. Yeah.
Okay, Sing Street. It's not one that I've heard of, but I do like my musicals.
Yeah,
I love the commitment.
Yeah, it's not like a musical, so people just randomly jump out.
Yeah,
but it's got lots and lots of music in it.
Right. Okay. Let's move on to our number 3. Now, this is a bit weird. Wasn't this on our worst list? That's because there were two versions of Batman v Superman that came out. One was the original theatrical cut, and as Gavin said, it was nonsensical. There was some stuff in there, so the characterizations of Batman and especially Superman, that was so badly done. What this does is it adds about 30 minutes onto the original movie.
And it still plays shorter.
Yeah, because the movie is more enjoyable.
Yeah.
It takes out, the original movie took out a scene at the beginning where these people kill off all these sort of terrorists, these African terrorists.
Yeah.
And then in the original cut, that's not there. And so Superman is getting accused of killing these people. And then, so anyway, the other thing it does is it paints Superman as a more sympathetic character. The scene that Gavin was talking about, where Superman, where the Capitol building, or the
he's in the center of the building.
Yeah,
I think,
so it explodes, and then he just flies off. In the original cut, but in this one, you actually see him carrying our bodies and carrying wounded people, trying to help. See, that's what I like about my Superman. I don't want my Superman to say, "Oh, okay, everyone's dead. Later."
Sorry, gotta go, bro.
Yeah, so this really is. If you're going to see Batman v Superman, please don't see the other cut. I think that
never watch the theatrical cut ever.
The DVD version is the theatrical cut. You actually have to get
the Blu-ray
version. Please get the Blu-ray version, because it will be a much more enjoyable movie. Superman actually goes and does a bit of reporting, goes out and finds out answers about this Batman person. It is a most enjoyable movie. I rated it quite highly when I saw the ultimate cut. I rated the other version very poorly. Okay. So there's our number 3.
Yeah, absolutely.
Number 2.
Alright, so Star Trek Beyond. So we both really enjoyed this movie. It's a lot of fun. It really does hark back to the original series. It feels like an episode of that with just sort of bigger stakes and bigger bangs.
Better special effects.
Yeah. But you get a lot of the flavour of the interaction between the crew, a lot of the fun, especially the Spock and Bones stuff.
Interaction.
No, that's just gold, that stuff. And
it really is what Star Trek was about, the characters interacting between one another. And the first couple of movies, they talked about Spock and Captain Kirk.
Yeah.
This one, there was a lot of Spock and Bones. It was really enjoyable.
It's a good story, and it's a shame it hasn't made a little bit more money. It certainly was rated quite well. James Wan did a great job on it. But it's only done $244.5 million. And it's a big budget. $185 million is the budget.
Yeah.
And it's huge. Now, what you got to think about when you're talking about the budget. So it costs $185 million to make. Now, you also got to put on at least half of that budget is usually what they spend on the marketing of it. So add another 85 million probably, and that's how much this movie costs.
So
they're actually losing money.
Is that 244.5 worldwide?
Yeah, I believe so. Oh, I better check that, but I'm pretty sure I put the worldwide numbers.
Okay, man, that's a shame, because that could be the death knell of the Star Trek franchise with figures like that.
You know, look, I mean, I talked about it before. I think the fans sort of just said "F you" because of some of the crap they're getting up to.
Yeah. Yeah, that is a shame. I was going to mention something else. Trivia question for people. There's been one actor who has appeared in both a Star Trek movie and a Star Wars movie. Do you know who that actor is?
Simon Pegg.
Actually, his proper face, Simon Pegg, was in that, but of course he was...
oh, you mean like a, not like a CG
like
character
actually a
or something?
full character.
Okay. Ooh. You mean any Star Trek movie or?
The latest Star Trek.
Okay, the latest Star Trek.
I mean, there's been a lot of actors in these movies.
I don't know.
Greg Grunberg has been a featured actor in both movies.
Okay.
Greg Grunberg was, of course, Wex in Force Awakens.
Yep.
And he had a featured part in this movie as well. Greg Grunberg is your answer. Number 1.
Go.
Right, okay, Civil War. We didn't get to review this movie. I saw this movie over in Australia before it was released in New Zealand. I didn't realise it was being... We just happened to be in Australia. I booked my ticket for midnight viewing. It was fantastic. I was blown away by the story.
Yeah.
The gravitas of the story, the characters, the Russo brothers. They really know how to piece together a story. The action sequences... Woo!
Yeah.
The fights, the big action sequence near the end, and of course the real gripping action sequence at the end.
Yeah.
This movie's been out for a while, so I suppose we could give a few little spoilers. Should we?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, okay. So
if you haven't watched it, too bad. You should have watched it before.
Because when Iron Man finds out that the Winter Soldier has offed his parents, the reaction from RDJ, Robert Downey Jr., he's just goes berserk, and he's just so determined. His acting was top notch in that movie. I really enjoyed. That's why he's one of the highest paid actors, because he really makes these Marvel movies really mean something. But of course, you know, Captain America, he's also he's grown into that part so well. The actor who plays him, he's just fantastic. I really believe that he is Captain America. Sebastian Stan playing Winter Soldier. There's just so many good bits in that. Seeing Spider-Man fighting with the Marvel team. Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Every dream come true.
It was a fun little bit.
Yeah. And of course, recently they've just released the reason why Thor and Hulk weren't part of the Civil War.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen that, it is hilarious. Made by our own Taika Waititi.
Yeah.
It is a joy. It actually attaches them slightly into the movie. It's hilarious, funny. You should watch it.
Yeah.
Kind of reminds me of like superheroes in the office.
Yeah.
One, but
It certainly has that tone of the Concorde sort of humour and sort of like a matter of fact type of thing, kind of a laid back sort of stuff. Yeah.
It is. So it's a mockumentary.
Yeah.
It is hilarious. Civil War, certainly one of the best movies. It'll probably be my top movie of this year, but there's still some to come.
Well, there's a couple of contenders I can think of. Rogue One for one.
Yeah, Rogue One. That's a big one. Doctor Strange. It's an origin story, so I
like origins sort of, so, and I've always liked Doctor Strange. I've always liked his comics, so yeah, that's definitely what I'm looking for.
So, okay. Let's move on to
top 10.
Woohoo! That was that was a fantastic movie. Summer Breakdown, Gavin. What's your overall thoughts?
Look, I think overall the summer season is about big box office movies. That's a season where you watch the big $100 million movies. There's been enough of them, but the majority of them, they've been pretty disappointing, I have to say.
So we're talking about Independence Day. I mean, the Winter's War. That was a $100 million movie.
Huge money. Yeah.
And that didn't do very well either.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's a few of them that have made money, but not the kind of money that I think they were expected to. Even Batman v Superman, it made a good amount of money, even for the problems it had. But like you said before, you release the ultimate cut,
Yeah.
that makes 1.5 billion.
Right.
Yeah. So just some comparisons in terms of how badly I think this year has been, or the summer season has been. So this has been the lowest domestically in America, money-making box office season, summer season, in 10 years, since 2006.
Now, I've had a lot of big releases, though. You keep that in mind. So, yeah, it's around about 350,000 off last year.
350 million.
350 million.
Yeah.
That's one big movie off last year's total.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting. Is it possible that the American market is shrinking, or just people are a bit worn out with these movies, with these big?
I just think that these movies weren't good. There were a lot of these blockbusters movies that weren't good, and maybe it did taint people to some of the other ones.
Yeah.
So they just went tried and true.
Yeah.
You know, what they knew was going to be a good.
I'll tell you what,
Marvel movie.
this could have been all turned around had Batman v Superman been better, and they released the Ultimate Cut.
Yeah.
Because I said to Gavin that after I watched the Ultimate Cut, that movie would have made 1.5 billion. It would have made Avengers money.
Yeah.
It was much more enjoyable. I enjoyed it when I watched that version. When I saw it at the theatres, oh gosh, I was so disappointed. I hated the Superman character. Ugh.
Yeah. So I mean, Americans going to the theatres actually on the rise.
Yeah.
So this is taking a bit of.
They just aren't convinced. You have to fight. You have to make a decent movie if you're going to go see it.
That's the thing too. I think audiences are a lot smarter these days. You know, you can't just expect people to turn their brain off. You got to actually tell a good story now as well. You know, I don't just want to see shit blowing up and people, you know, karateing each other.
I think that was
know
the point
why
of
they're
difference.
doing it. Yeah,
That was the point of difference with the Independence Day. The original was just a lot of mindless action. You do have to turn your brain off, but then when they had the sequel, I think that they just expected the audience to do it again. And I don't think the audience wanted to do that.
yeah, they're smarter than that now. But even if you released the Independence Day then now, I think they would have made more money than this one because it's just a better story.
Okay.
Okay, so that's us. I think. Yeah. Okay. Oh, nice.
That's it.
Those are the Geeks.
That's it. That's our roundup. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Clash of the Geeks, though. Woo! I've got some. I'm so far behind at the moment. There's 17 points to 11.
Well, I mean, good thing about it is we can get a maximum 10 points.
We can get a maximum 10 points, but I need Gavin to have some bad rounds. I need to have some good rounds. Let's make sure that those cards aren't rigged this time. Okay, so
Are you going to go first?
I need to ask you first.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what I mean. The same. Let's two.
Yeah, so
two,
are you going
four,
to
six,
move pick a card?
No, just grab with the top. I haven't seen any.
What do you do with those cards that we've used already?
Put them underneath.
Do you?
Yeah, so don't grab it from.
Underneath?
Yeah.
Okay. I never take the top one. So you want 2, 4, 6?
Yep.
Which British actor said,
See,
we've already had this?
Oh, I know?
Yeah.
Okay.
Who was Jeanette MacDonald's singing partner in many musical movies? Who was Jeanette MacDonald's singing partner in many musical movies?
Jeanette MacDonald. I don't know, multiple choice.
Billy Ray Cyrus, Zaza Gabor, a Wookiee, or Nelson Eddy?
Jeanette MacDonald.
I don't even know who Jeanette MacDonald is.
Yeah, isn't there a Kiwi actress name there? What was the fourth one?
Was that a Wookiee? Oh,
Edie someone?
Nelson Eddy?
Nelson Eddy, I'll go for that one.
Yes, it was Nelson Eddy. Yeah, maybe I should have chosen my multi-choice answers before that. It's really hard to make them up on the fly. Okay, what sort of creature was Chewbacca in the 1997 movie Star Wars?
A Wookiee.
What do you see that answer? In which year was the first Police Academy movie released?
Oh.
This I can make up.
And it's 85, 86, sitting around there. I'm going to say... I'm not going to ask for multiple choice, that's going to help. So I'm going to say...
I'm just going to give you dates.
Yeah.
Pretty close together too.
86.
86 is incorrect. It's 1984. Just what I wanted, Gavin to get some wrong. Okay. So far that's 3. Gavin's up to 20. Okay. In Rambo First Blood, how many people did John Rambo kill?
Oh.
1, 69, or 212? Rambo First Blood, how many people did John Rambo kill?
Just kills that sheriff or the deputy. 1.
1. Correct. He injures a lot of people.
Yeah.
In American Pie, what embarrassing accident befalls the Shermanator at the prom?
Oh, can you read that again, please?
In American Pie, what embarrassing accident befalls the Shermanator at the prom?
Pisses himself.
Correct. 4. So that's 7. 7 plus 7 is 24. Won't be catching Gavin today. Oh man, what if I didn't want those cards? Gavin choose the hardest cards.
Alright. There's more, some of them. We'll see. Okay. Many of the cast of A Fish Called Wanda got back together for which 1997 movie?
No, no multi-choice.
Was it The Fisher King, A Fish Called Wanda 2, Fierce Creatures?
Fierce Creatures.
Correct.
What's the last one?
Barrymore Jersey.
Yeah.
Nah. Okay, 4. Who played the Jackal in the 1973 movie The Day of the Jackal?
No. Multi-choice.
Was it Bruce Willis, Edward Fox, James Fox, Clint Eastwood?
Edward Fox.
Is that your answer?
Yeah.
Correct. Which 1964 Disney movie features the song A Spoonful of Sugar?
It's Mary Poppins.
Correct. In This Is Spinal Tap, what volume does the Emperor Fire famously go up to?
11.
Correct. In Monsters Inc., what are the monsters most scared of?
Children.
Very good. That's 8, I think.
No, yeah, it is. 2 1s, 1 2, and 2 2s. 8s. 19,
3
24.
2s, no, 3 2s and 2 1s.
Yeah.
Very good.
8, 11, 19. Gavin's on 24. He's still 5 points ahead. But he did claw back 1 point. Ooh, though, it's going to be a massive week next week.
Yeah.
We have, actually, yes, next week when we have our final.
Yeah. Like the first group of games, I have to get a couple wrong. Like I needed you to.
So we'll see how we go.
No, I don't want to do that. Okay. Yep.
Okay.
Sweet. Okay. So we're going to put in who the winner is. That's going to come up.
Yeah.
And that prize will also be on the comments. So in the comments for we will say who's won the prize and the prize that they won, as long as you give a number, otherwise we will do it randomly.
Right, so remember our last week's question was, what was this movie? Mm-hmm. You saw the dance scene. The answer to that was
Blazing Saddles.
Blazing Saddles, wasn't that a Western, Gavin?
Yeah. And so what they do is they sort of break the fourth wall and they go off the set and they go into other different sets. And MGM or Paramount, is it?
Well, something like that.
Yeah.
And they're fighting all over the place.
Yeah, so they're fighting all over the set, and then they have that dance scene, and next thing they all come onto that.
Yeah,
that
they literally break through the wall, and they're fighting against all the dancers, and they go all over the place. There's a massive food fight. So if you're thinking Blazing Saddles was just a Western, it's actually a lot more than that. Fantastic movie.
Yeah, very funny.
Okay, we're going to move on to our next question then.
Yep.
Okay.
So, our next question is, what movie is this song from?
Okay.
It's 2 o'clock on the edge of the morning. She's running magical circles round my head. I hit her right on the dream she's driving. She turned to kiss me, I crashed back into bed. Across the street on a grayed out Monday, I see the girl with the eyes I can't describe. And suddenly it's a perfect Sunday. It's such a beautiful feeling. I think I'm back in the dream. I think I'm back on the ceiling. It's such a beautiful feeling going up. She lights me up and she breaks me.
Now, all our questions, they will relate to the show in some way.
So that's Gavin's clue.
Yeah, no, my clue is it is one of our top 10 movies.
Exactly. It relates to the show. Oh. And it's one of our top 10 movies.
Yeah.
The music that you're hearing, that you just heard, is in our top 10. Pretty simple, really.
Cool.
Okay. Wow.
Winning some crap I bought on TradeMe. Alright.
Well, Gavin, that's our show.
Yeah.
It went by so fast. I hope you guys enjoyed our top 10 and enjoyed our top 5 worst.
Yeah, so you know what to go to and what not to go to.
I mean, you might want to get that movie on DVD, but don't pay money for it. Borrow someone else's.
But look, big budget movies, there's always some fun to get them, especially if you're going to get them cheap. So, you know, it's all good.
Exactly.
Make a good DVD, eh?
So, what are you looking forward to come autumn?
Oh, you know, there's Doctor Strange, obviously. There's a few other movies I'm looking forward to, but this is when the Oscar bait starts coming out, so those are the ones that I'm definitely looking for.
Certainly, they come out at their time, so that they're fresh in the voters' minds.
Yeah.
For the Oscar season, our Taika Waititi and Sir Peter Jackson are our 2 representatives on that panel.
Yeah.
So will be interesting to see what comes out.
I think we have to do a top 10 on that, perhaps.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. The 2 movies that I'm looking forward for the rest of the year, there's going to be some other movies there, but certainly Doctor Strange is one of them, and Rogue One. I want to see where that story goes.
Yeah.
Because it'll be a good
That
way.
comes out in December, though.
That's just past the autumn. I want to see how that goes, because there's a lot of Star Wars movies coming out that are, you know, prequels, origin stories, and so if this movie does well, then it'll bode well for the rest of the Star Wars movies.
Absolutely, yeah.
Han Solo movie.
Doesn't have to be tied into the Skywalker story. It can be something else.
We can go a bit further. Okay, any last words, Kevin?
No, it's all good. Just hope you enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe, do all those good things. We'll see you next time.
Yeah.
So,
Peace.
see you later.